upon arrival, located an individual named Shenhei Zhu in the parking lot of the courthouse. At the same time, Sheriff's Office personnel, as well as court officers from the Massachusetts Trial Court, were coming from the building. The preliminary investigation suggests that Mr. Zhu and the victim, his 23-year-old nephew with a Revere address, had been at the courthouse for a hearing. Mr. Zhu was seeking an extension of a restraining order, which he had against his nephew. Following that hearing, both parties exited the courthouse and headed to the parking lot behind the building. The suspect then allegedly got into his vehicle, drove at the victim, striking him with the car. That car also struck a number of other cars that were in the parking lot. After the car hit his nephew, Mr. Zhu exited the car with a handgun, leaned over the nephew, and shot him multiple times. The victim was later pronounced dead on scene. This is a very active and ongoing investigation being conducted jointly by the Middlesex District Attorney's Office, state police detectives, as well as the Massachusetts Medford Police Department. Mr. Zhu will be arraigned tomorrow morning in Medford District Court on a charge of murder. I'll take a couple of questions.
Are you identifying the victim?
Not at this point. We have not finished notification.
What was the bad blood between the two men? Why did they have a restraining order in the first place?
That's not something we'll talk about now. We're looking at all of that. Now, we'll talk about that tomorrow at the arraignment.
Does Mr. Zhu have any history of violence, crimes?
Again, we'll talk about that tomorrow at the arraignment.
Marian, it's someone else.
Oh, excuse me.
Medford.
Was the uncle presumably not happy about what happened in court today, that the restraining order wasn't renewed?
Well, we know the restraining order wasn't renewed. We don't know that that was the reason for whatever happened outside.